March Madness 2026 didn't just deliver big moments, it delivered pure chaos. We got miracle game winners, disrespectful posters, ridiculous blocks, and the kind of plays that make entire arenas lose their minds in 1 second. These are the best plays and highlight moments from March Madness 2026. Otega Oweh, miracle winner for Kentucky. We have to start with one of the coldest moments of the tournament. Kentucky looks dead, the clock is nearly gone, and somehow Otega Oweh still finds a way to end it. That's what makes March Madness different from every other event in sports. One possession can turn panic into immortality. The shot itself is crazy, but the timing is what makes it legendary. This is the kind of bucket that lives forever because it doesn't just win a game, it hijacks the entire emotion of the night. UConn, last second three to go in front. If you needed one play to define how insane this tournament was, this might be it. The ball gets deflected, everything breaks down, and somehow UConn still finds a three that flips the game at the last possible second. These are the moments that make fans scream before they even realize what they just saw. It feels like the kind of shot that only exists in highlight montages, but that's the beauty of March. Every year it gives us at least one moment that looks too dramatic to be real. Cohen Carr, insane alley-oop spotlight. And then there are the plays that don't need late game drama because the athleticism alone is enough to break the arena. Cohen Carr turns a simple lob into a full highlight reel moment and basically makes Buffalo his personal stage. The craziest part is how effortless it looks. Some dunks are loud because of the crowd reaction. This one is loud because the play itself feels impossible the moment the ball leaves the passer's hands. Tremon Mark, go-ahead clutch shot. Tremon Mark gave us one of those pure March Madness crunch time possessions where everybody in the building knows exactly who's taking the shot, and it still doesn't matter. He rises, hits the jumper, and suddenly the pressure shifts to the other side with almost no time left. These are the shots that separate great tournament players from everyone else. There's no hiding in these moments. Either you own the pressure, or the pressure owns you. Mark absolutely owned it. Cameron Boozer, spin, mook finish. Cameron Boozer's late game finish is the kind of move that reminds you how polished elite freshmen can already be in this tournament. The spin is smooth, the touch is calm, and the finish lands right when the game feels heaviest. That's what makes it stand out. In a moment when most players would rush, force, or lose balance, Boozer keeps everything under control. March Madness loves stars besides, but it really loves stars who can stay composed while everything around them is on fire. Bryce Howard lob finish. Tournament opens with flight. The tournament wastes no time telling you what kind of ride this is going to be. Early in the compilation, Howard throws one up, and the finish is pure elevation. It's the type of play that instantly resets the energy in the gym and tells everyone watching that this event is going to have no chill whatsoever. You can't ask for a better tone setter than a player catching a lob and finishing like he's taking the elevator straight through the roof. Armstrong, contested three in crunch time. Not every huge tournament shot is a buzzer beater. Sometimes it's the shot that brings a team all the way back to life. Armstrong's contested three is exactly that. Defender right there, game pressure rising, and he still drills it to turn the final minute into pure chaos. That's the thing about March. The momentum doesn't move politely, it swings violently. One shot like this can make the favorite feel nervous and make the underdog feel like destiny just opened the door. Zurich Phelps, acrobatic and one finish. Zurich Phelps gave the tournament one of its nastiest body control moments. He attacks, absorbs contact, somehow adjusts in the air, and still gets the ball down. These are the plays that don't fully register until you see the replay. At full speed, it just looks wild. On replay, you realize how much balance, touch, and strength it takes to finish a play like that with bodies flying around you. March Madness always finds room for a few "how did that go in" moments, and this is absolutely one of them. A Bynum, that's a man's jam. Some plays don't need over-explaining. They just need volume. Amari Bynum's dunk is one of those. He gets to the rim and detonates with the kind of force that makes the announcer do half the work for you. It's not just a finish, it's a statement. March tournaments always produce a few moments where the entire gym feels the dunk, and this was one of the loudest examples from the whole run. TCU, go-ahead layup with 4.1 left. This is classic tournament basketball. Smart action, fast decision, and a layup that suddenly feels 10 times bigger because of the clock. TCU gets exactly what it needs with just over 4 seconds remaining, and the beauty of the play is how quickly it happens. There's no wasted motion, no extra dribble, no panic. Just a clean read, a sharp delivery, and a finish that flips the game right at the edge of disaster. Logo 3 Madness. House from the NCAA logo every March Madness run needs at least one "why would he shoot that" moment that instantly becomes "okay, never mind, that was unbelievable." This Logo 3 is exactly that. The release is quick, the confidence is outrageous, and the shot lands with that special kind of disrespect that only deep range makes can deliver. It's one thing to hit a 3 in rhythm. It's another thing entirely to pull from the logo in tournament play and make it feel natural. High Point, clutch game-saving block March Madness is not only about made shots. Some of the biggest plays are the ones that stop a season from ending. This block from High Point is a perfect example. The offensive player thinks he has the lane, the game feels like it's about to flip, and then everything gets erased at the rim. That's what makes clutch defense so brutal. Great blocks don't just prevent points, they destroy expectations in real time, and this one did it with the whole game hanging in the balance. Joe Tugler. Transition hammer Joe Tugler turned a turnover into a full-on exclamation point. The ball changes hands, the lane opens, and he hammers it home with the exact kind of violence that makes transition basketball so fun in March. This is where tournament energy becomes contagious. One defensive mistake becomes 2 automatic points and one massive emotional swing. When a team is already rolling, a play like this doesn't just add to the lead. It feels like it adds pressure to every possession after it. Drake Allen, parachute dunk Drake Allen's finish is one of those plays that sneaks up on you. It starts like a normal transition opportunity, and then suddenly he's in the air way longer than you expect, throwing it down like he dropped from somewhere above the play itself. That's why the parachute description fits so perfectly. March highlights are full of speed and force, but the ones that really stick are the plays that also give you hang time, that feeling that the player stayed airborne just long enough to make everyone stare. Smith, behind the back beauty. In a tournament filled with dunks and deep threes, a pass can still steal the show if it's good enough. Smith's behind the back dime does exactly that. This is the kind of setup that changes the volume in the arena before the shot even goes in. It's stylish, but it's not empty style. It actually creates the scoring chance cleanly. That's why these passes matter. They're not just flashy. They shift the rhythm of the game and make a simple basket feel like a true highlight. Missouri's Phillips. Send it into the seats. Phillips gave us one of the meanest defensive sequences of the tournament, and the first rejection might be the most disrespectful. He doesn't just block the shot, he launches it into the front row and completely changes the tone of the possession. That's the kind of play that instantly wakes up a bench and gets the crowd into it. In March, rim protection can feel psychological. Once a guy starts doing this, every driver thinks twice before testing him again. Phillips again, chase down follow-up block, and then he does it again. That's what makes this sequence so memorable. One huge block is a highlight. 2 in the same stretch makes it feel like the rim belongs to him. There's something especially demoralizing about a defender who keeps showing up right when the offense thinks it found an opening. Phillips turns that stretch into his own personal defensive montage, and that kind of dominance is exactly what fans remember when the tournament is over. Ademara to Yaxel Lendeborg, baseball pass to dunk. This play has everything that makes highlight basketball fun: vision, risk, timing, and a violent finish. Mara throws a baseball pass that most big men wouldn't even attempt, and somehow it lands perfectly for Yaxel Lendeborg to go finish the job. That's the beauty of tournament highlights. They don't all come from guards dancing off screens. Sometimes a 7-footer sees the whole floor, fires a full court dart, and turns a break into one of the best sequences in the video. Yaxel Lendeborg. Dirty finish through contact, then Lendeborg decides one highlight isn't enough. He attacks again, powers through traffic, and gives the tournament one of its nastiest finishes. This is the kind of play where the crowd reaction tells you everything. It's half shock, half appreciation, because everyone in the building knows that was not a normal bucket. March Madness loves toughness, and plays like this are the perfect example of why. Skill gets you the opening, force turns it into a memory. Mara to Johnson. Precision Mara shows up again, this time putting the ball exactly where it needs to be for Johnson to rise and finish. Alley-oops are always crowd pleasers, but the best ones are the passes that make the dunk feel inevitable. That's what happens here. The delivery is so clean that the finish almost feels automatic, until you remember how hard it actually is to sync timing, angle, and elevation in a tournament game moving that fast. TCU, steal to Robinson finish. This is pure March Madness energy. TCU gets the steal, instantly turns defense into offense, and finishes in transition with the kind of play that forces a timeout. That's always the sign of a devastating highlight. Not just points, but points so violent or sudden that the other coach has to stop everything. These sequences are tournament gold because they show how quickly a game can tilt. One mistake, one sprint, one finish, and now the whole gym belongs to the team in purple. Nebraska. Late bucket sends the arena nuts with under 3 seconds left. Nebraska gives us one of the purest crowd eruption moments in the video. The shot goes down, the bench explodes, and the building turns into chaos. That's what makes this month special. It's not always the prettiest play or the most technical possession. Sometimes it's just a player creating a late game moment that hits the arena like a thunderclap. You can feel the season's tension release all at once. St. John's Sweet 16 clincher St. John's gets one of the biggest. This is why we watch moments of the tournament here. The clock is bleeding out, everybody knows there's no room for a mistake, and then the finish comes anyway. The beauty of this clip is the immediate release after it. Players know, coaches know, the crowd knows. They're going to the Sweet 16. Tournament basketball is at its best when the play and the consequence hit at the same time, and this one nails both. Iowa, corner 3 for the lead. There are clutch shots, and then there are clutch shots that force everyone to immediately look at the clock. Iowa's corner 3 is one of those. The ball swings, the shot rises, and suddenly the whole possession becomes history. These are the buckets that feel bigger because of where they come from. Not straight on, not easy rhythm, but from the corner with a season's worth of pressure sitting on the release. It's a fearless shot, and in March, fearless usually plays. Purdue, Trey Kaufman-Wren's late winner. Purdue's late game sequence is everything you want from tournament survival. The possession looks tense, the clock is microscopic, and then Trey Kaufman-Wren ends up in the right place at the right time to put Purdue ahead with almost nothing left. This is why March highlights are so replayable. It's not just that the bucket goes in, it's that the bucket feels like it appears out of total desperation. You watch it once for the finish, and then again to appreciate how little time there really was. Tobe Awaka, putback facial off the bench. Tobe Awaka came off the bench and instantly gave the tournament one of its most disrespectful putbacks. That's why this play sticks. Bench energy is already powerful in March, but when a reserve checks in and gives you a facial like this, the whole game changes speed. Putbacks are usually about effort. This one is effort plus violence plus perfect timing, which is exactly the kind of combination that gets stamped into a tournament montage forever. Iowa State, steal behind the back, score this play is just fun. Iowa State gets the steal, pushes the break, and then adds the behind the back pass for style before the finish. That's the kind of sequence that makes a bench pop up before the layup even lands. It's not only effective, it's loud, creative, and fearless. March Madness highlights work best when they have personality, and this one absolutely does. It feels like a team that knows the moment, knows the camera is rolling, and still makes the right play while putting on a show. Roddy Gale Jr. Championship putback slam, and if you want a perfect closing image, this is it, Roddy Gale Jr. Comes flying in for the putback slam and gives the championship stretch one more violent exclamation point. The reason this works so well as a final featured play is because it captures the whole tournament in one sequence. Aggression, timing, energy, and no hesitation at all. March Madness always ends with someone taking over a moment, and this was one last reminder that even the final stretch still had more highlights left to give. That's what made March Madness 2026 so ridiculous. It had everything. Miracle winners, fearless threes, posters, blocks, putbacks, and the kind of chaos only this tournament can create. If this is what one March gave us, imagine what the next one is going to look like.